The Man with No Name. Part 1. The Stranger by the River. Emma lived in a small, quiet town called Maplewood. She was a teacher at the local school and loved her peaceful life. Every evening after school, she went for a walk by the river that ran through the town. The river was calm, and the sound of the water always made her feel relaxed. One evening, as Emma walked her usual path, she saw something unusual. A man was sitting on the riverbank, his clothes wet and muddy. He looked lost. His hair was messy, and there was a small cut on his forehead. Emma hesitated for a moment, but then decided to check if he was okay. "Excuse me, are you all right?" she asked gently. The man looked up at her, confusion in his eyes. I don't know," he said in a low voice. Emma noticed he was shivering. "You're hurt. Let me help you," she said, offering her hand. The man hesitated but took her hand. As he stood up, Emma saw how tired and weak he looked. "Do you live nearby?" she asked. He shook his head slowly. "I don't remember," he said, looking at her with a mix of fear and sadness. Emma felt sorry for him. She could see that he was struggling to think. "What's your name?" she asked. I don't know," he whispered. Emma's heart ached for him. He looked so helpless. "All right, let's get you cleaned up first," she said. "You can come to my house. It's not far from here." The man nodded, and Emma led him to her small cottage. At the house, Emma gave the man a towel and some clean clothes that had belonged to her brother. He changed and sat on the couch, looking uncomfortable but grateful. "Do you remember anything at all? Your name? Where you're from?" Emma asked as she poured him a cup of tea. The man shook his head. "It's all blank," he said, staring at the floor. "I don't even know how I got to that river." Emma handed him the tea. "It's okay. Maybe you just need some rest. Sometimes the mind takes time to remember things," she said kindly. The man gave her a faint smile. "Thank you. You're very kind." Emma smiled back. "We'll figure this out together. For now, you need a name. I can't just keep calling you, hey you." She thought for a moment. "How about Adam?" The man nodded. "Adam. Okay. Thank you." Over the next few days, Adam stayed with Emma. He helped her with small chores around the house and in her garden. He was quiet but polite, and Emma noticed he was very careful with everything he did, as if he didn't want to make any mistakes. Every day, Emma asked him questions about his past, but Adam's answers were always the same. "I don't know." Emma started asking people in the town if they knew Adam, but no one had seen him before. She even reported him to the police, but there were no missing person reports that matched his description. Despite the mystery, Emma found herself enjoying Adam's company. He was kind and thoughtful, and he had a calm presence that made her feel safe. Adam, too, seemed to relax more as the days passed. One afternoon, as they worked together in the garden, Adam suddenly paused. He stared at the sky, a troubled look on his face. "Are you okay?" Emma asked. I had a feeling," Adam said slowly, For a moment, it felt like I remembered something, but then it was gone. What was it? Emma asked, hopeful. It was a face, Adam said. A woman's face. But I don't know who she is. Emma's heart sank a little, but she hid her feelings. It's a start, she said with a smile. Maybe your memory is coming back slowly. Adam nodded, though he still looked troubled. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Adam and the woman he mentioned. Who was she? Was she someone important to him? Was she his wife? The thought made Emma feel strange, but she didn't understand why. She told herself it didn't matter. Adam needed her help, and she would do everything she could to help him find his past. But deep down, Emma felt a connection to Adam. She didn't know why, but it was there, growing stronger every day. Part 2. Searching for clues. A week had passed since Emma found Adam by the river. Though he was still quiet and unsure of himself, Emma could tell he was slowly getting better. He smiled more often, and his strength had returned. But his memory remained a blank space. One morning, Emma decided they needed to take a new step. Adam, she said as they sat in the kitchen eating breakfast, I think we should try to figure out who you are. Maybe we can find something that will help you remember. Adam looked at her, a little nervous. Where do we start? He asked. Emma thought for a moment. We'll start at the river. Maybe there's something there that can give us a clue. Adam nodded. Okay. Let's try. They walked to the river together. The water sparkled under the sunlight, and the sound of birds filled the air. Adam looked around, as if hoping something would feel familiar. This is where I found you, Emma said, pointing to a spot by the riverbank. Do you remember anything now? Adam shook his head. No. It's like I've never been here before. They searched the area carefully. Emma checked the bushes, while Adam looked along the water's edge. After a while, Adam called out, Emma, I found something. Emma hurried over. Adam was holding a small silver chain. It was broken, as if it had been pulled off. Is this yours? Emma asked. Adam stared at the chain, his eyes narrowing. I don't know, he said, his voice uncertain. But it feels important. Emma took the chain and examined it closely. There was a tiny pendant attached to it. It was shaped like a star and had some letters engraved on it. It says, A.L. Emma read aloud. Do you think it's my name? Adam asked. It could be your initials, Emma said. Or maybe it belonged to someone close to you. Adam looked thoughtful. I wish I could remember, he said softly. Emma placed a hand on his shoulder. We'll figure it out. Let's take this with us. Maybe it will help. Back at the house, Emma cleaned the chain and placed it on the table. She and Adam sat down to think. What about the clothes you were wearing when I found you? Emma asked. Adam looked at her, confused. What about them? They might have some clues, Emma said. Maybe a label or a mark that tells us where they came from. Emma had kept the clothes in a bag. She brought them out and began inspecting them carefully. After a few minutes, she found something on the inside of the jacket. "There's a name here," she said, holding up the jacket. "It says Benson Taylor's." Adam leaned closer. "Do you know where that is?" he asked. Emma shook her head. "No, but I can find out. Maybe it's in one of the nearby towns." That afternoon, Emma and Adam went to the local library. It was a small, cozy place with shelves full of books and a corner with a computer. Emma asked the librarian if she could use the computer to look up Benson Taylor's. After a few minutes of searching, Emma found something. "It's a shop in Riverview," she said. "That's the next town over. It's not too far." Adam looked hopeful for the first time. "Do you think they'll know me?" "It's worth a try," Emma said. The next day, Emma borrowed her neighbor's car, and she and Adam drove to Riverview. It was a bigger town than Maplewood, with busy streets and tall buildings. Emma could see that Adam was nervous. "Don't worry," she said, giving him a reassuring smile. "We're in this together." They found Benson Taylor's on a quiet street. It was a small shop with a sign that looked old but neat. Inside, an older man with glasses was working at a sewing machine. "Hello," Emma said politely. "We're looking for some information. Do you recognize this jacket?" She held up the jacket they had found. The man adjusted his glasses and took the jacket. He examined it carefully. "Yes, this is one of ours," he said. "We make custom jackets for our customers. Each one has a unique order number." Emma felt a surge of hope. "Can you tell us who ordered this one?" The man nodded. "I'll check my records. Wait here." He disappeared into the back of the shop, leaving Emma and Adam alone. Adam looked anxious, his hands fidgeting. "What if it leads to nothing?" he said quietly. "It's better to try than to wonder," Emma said. "No matter what, we'll keep looking." After a few minutes, the man returned with a notebook. "This jacket was ordered by someone named Alan Lewis," he said. Adam froze. "Alan Lewis," he repeated. "Is that my name?" "It's possible," Emma said. "Does it sound familiar?" Adam shook his head, his face full of frustration. "No. It doesn't feel like anything." Emma turned to the man. "Do you have an address or a phone number for this person?" The man flipped through his notebook. "Yes, there's an address. It's on River Street, here in Riverview." "Thank you so much," Emma said. As they left the shop, Adam looked at Emma. "What if Alan Lewis is someone else?" "Then we'll find out," Emma said. "And if he's you, then we'll be one step closer to your answers." Adam nodded, though he still looked nervous. "Let's go," he said. They headed toward River Street, their hearts full of hope and fear. What they would find there was anyone's guess. Part 3. The House on River Street. Emma and Adam stood in front of the address they had been given. A small two-story house on River Street in Riverview. The house looked old but well-kept, with white walls and blue shutters. There was a garden in the front, filled with colorful flowers. Adam stared at the house, his hands trembling slightly. "What if I live here?" he asked. "What if someone inside knows me?" Emma placed a reassuring hand on his arm. "There's only one way to find out. I'm right here with you." Adam nodded, took a deep breath, and walked up to the door. Emma followed close behind. He hesitated for a moment before knocking. The sound of his knuckles against the wooden door seemed louder than usual in the quiet neighborhood. After a few seconds, they heard footsteps approaching. The door opened, and a middle-aged woman appeared. She had short, curly hair and kind eyes. "Yes," she said, looking at them curiously. Hi," Adam began awkwardly. "I'm not sure how to say this, but do you know me?" The woman frowned, her eyes studying his face. "No, I don't think so," she said slowly. "Who are you?" Adam looked helplessly at Emma. She stepped in to explain. "This might sound strange, but Adam, this man, lost his memory. We found this address connected to his name, Alan Lewis. We were hoping you might know him or have any information that could help." The woman's expression softened. "Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. My name is Mrs. Carter. I've lived here for about 10 years, but I don't know anyone named Alan Lewis." Emma's heart sank. She had been so hopeful. "Are you sure? Maybe he lived here before you." Mrs. Carter thought for a moment. "I don't think so, but I can check with my husband. He might know more." She called her husband, who was working in the backyard. A tall man with a friendly smile came to the door. Emma explained the situation again. "I'm sorry," Mr. Carter said after hearing the story. "We've lived here for a long time, and I don't remember anyone named Alan Lewis connected to this house." Adam's shoulders slumped. "I guess this was a dead end," he said quietly. Emma thanked the Carters for their time, and they left the house. As they walked back to the car, Adam seemed lost in thought. "If I'm Alan Lewis, why does no one know me?" he asked. "And why don't I remember anything?" "I don't know," Emma admitted, "but maybe there's another way to find out. Let's not give up yet." Adam nodded, though his face showed his frustration. Back in Maplewood that evening, Emma and Adam sat in the living room. The silver chain with the star pendant lay on the table between them. "This pendant," Adam said, picking it up. "It feels like it's important, but I don't know why." "Maybe it belonged to someone close to you," Emma said. "A family member? A friend?" Adam looked at her, his eyes filled with sadness. "If it did, why can't I remember them?" Emma didn't know how to answer that. Instead, she said, "We'll keep looking. There has to be something out there that can help us." The next day, Emma had an idea. "What if we try the police again?" she suggested. "Maybe they missed something before." Adam agreed, and they drove to the police station in Riverview. They explained the situation to an officer, showing him the chain and mentioning the name Alan Lewis. The officer checked their records again but found nothing. "I'm sorry," he said. "We don't have any missing person reports matching your description." and we don't have anything on Alan Lewis either. Emma felt discouraged, but the officer offered a suggestion. If you want, you can place an ad in the newspaper or online, he said. Sometimes people recognize photos or details and come forward. That's a great idea, Emma said. Thank you. That afternoon, they went to the office of the local newspaper. Emma filled out a form describing Adam and their situation. They also included a photo of Adam, which the newspaper promised to print in the next day's edition. Do you think this will work? Adam asked as they left the office. I don't know, Emma admitted, but it's worth trying. The next day, Emma and Adam anxiously waited for any calls or messages. By evening, there was still no response. Adam tried to hide his disappointment, but Emma could see how much it hurt him. Maybe it just takes time, she said, trying to stay positive. But deep down, she wondered if they would ever find the answers they were looking for. That night, Adam had a strange dream. He saw flashes of light, heard voices, and felt the cold rush of water. Then there was a face, a woman's face. She was smiling at him, but her name stayed just out of reach. He woke up suddenly, his heart racing. Emma heard him and came into the room. What's wrong? She asked, worried. I had a dream, Adam said. I saw someone, a woman, but I don't know who she is. Can you describe her? Emma asked, sitting beside him. She had dark hair and a kind face, Adam said slowly. But that's all I remember. Emma took his hand. It's a start, she said gently. Maybe it's your memory trying to come back. Adam nodded, though he still looked troubled. I hope so, he said. The next day brought a surprise. Emma's phone rang, and when she answered, a man's voice said, I saw the ad in the paper. I think I know the man you're looking for. Emma's heart raced. Really? Can you tell me more? The man hesitated. I think it's better if we meet in person. Can you come to the Riverview train station tomorrow at noon? Emma agreed, though she felt a little uneasy. When she told Adam about the call, he looked both nervous and excited. Do you think this person really knows me? He asked. I don't know, Emma said honestly. But we'll find out tomorrow. They spent the rest of the day preparing for the meeting, their minds filled with questions and possibilities. Part 4. A Stranger's Revelation. The following morning, Emma and Adam left early for the Riverview train station. It was a busy place, filled with the sound of announcements, footsteps, and people rushing to catch their trains. Adam seemed restless, his eyes darting around as if hoping something here would spark a memory. What if this man knows who I am? Adam said nervously. What if he's lying? Emma touched his arm. We'll be careful, she assured him. But this could be the lead we've been waiting for. They waited near the ticket counter, just as the caller had instructed. After a few minutes, a man in his late 40s approached them. He wore a black jacket and a hat that shadowed his face. His eyes were sharp and watchful. Are you the ones looking for Alan Lewis? The man asked, his voice low. Yes, I'm Adam, or Alan. Maybe, Adam replied hesitantly. The man glanced at Emma, then back at Adam. Let's talk somewhere private, he said. Follow me. The man led them to a quieter corner outside the station, away from the crowd. Emma felt uneasy but stayed close to Adam. I saw the photo in the paper, the man began. You're Alan Lewis. I'm sure of it. Adam's eyes widened. You know me? The man hesitated, then said, yes, but not in the way you think. I don't know your full story, but I know you were involved in something dangerous. Dangerous? Emma asked, her voice rising in concern. The man nodded. I work in private security. A few months ago, I saw your face on a file. You were being investigated, but the details were classified. I remember your name, Alan Lewis, because it was linked to something big, something illegal. Adam's face went pale. Illegal? What do you mean? I don't know all the details, the man admitted. But there were whispers about smuggling and stolen goods. If you're Alan Lewis, you might be in serious trouble. Adam staggered back, his mind spinning. No, that can't be true, he said. I don't feel like a criminal. I don't even remember anything. The man frowned. Memory or not, the people looking for you won't care. If they find you, they won't ask questions. They'll just act. Emma stepped forward. Why are you telling us this? Why should we believe you? The man sighed. I don't gain anything by helping you. I'm telling you because I believe in second chances. If you really don't remember your past, then maybe it's a chance to start over. But you need to be careful. He handed them a small piece of paper with an address written on it. This place might give you some answers. It's a storage unit on the outskirts of Riverview. I think it's connected to you, Alan. But if you go there, be ready for anything. After the man left, Emma and Adam sat in the car, the tension thick between them. Do you believe him? Adam asked quietly. Emma thought for a moment. I don't know. He sounded convincing, but this could also be a trap. Adam stared at the paper in his hand. I have to go, he said finally. If there's even a chance this place has answers, I need to see it. I'm coming with you, Emma said firmly. Adam shook his head. No, it might be dangerous. I don't want you getting hurt. I'm not letting you do this alone, Emma insisted. We're in this together. Adam gave her a grateful smile, though worry flickered in his eyes. That evening, they drove to the address on the paper. The storage unit was in a deserted area, surrounded by trees. The building was old and gray, with a row of metal doors. The air was eerily quiet, and Emma felt a chill. Not from the weather, but from the strange, heavy atmosphere. They found the unit with the number written on the paper. Adam hesitated before unlocking it with the key they had picked up from the office. Inside, the unit was dark and smelled of dust. Emma turned on the flashlight on her phone, and they began to look around. There were boxes stacked neatly along the walls, along with a few pieces of old furniture. Adam opened one of the boxes and froze. Inside were stacks of cash and passports with different names but his face on the photos. "What is this?" Adam whispered, his voice shaky. Emma looked through another box and found documents written in a foreign language, along with photos of unknown people. "Adam, this is serious," she said. Suddenly, they heard footsteps outside. Adam quickly shut the box, and Emma turned off her flashlight. They pressed themselves against the wall, holding their breath. The footsteps stopped right outside the unit. A shadow passed under the door. "Alan," a voice called out, deep and cold. "I know you're in there. You can't hide forever." Adam's heart pounded. The voice sounded familiar, but he couldn't place it. Emma grabbed his hand, her eyes wide with fear. "Stay quiet," she mouthed. The person outside jiggled the lock. "If you don't come out, I'll come in," the voice threatened. Adam's mind raced. Who was this person? And what did they want? The lock began to turn. Adam and Emma had only seconds to decide what to do. Part 5. Unveiling the truth. The sound of the lock turning filled the air. Adam and Emma exchanged a frightened glance, their minds racing. They had no idea who was outside or what this person wanted. Adam whispered, "Stay behind me." "Emma?" She nodded, clutching his arm tightly. They both looked around, hoping to find something to defend themselves. All they saw were empty boxes and a rusty metal rod lying on the ground. Adam picked it up, gripping it tightly. The door creaked open, and a man stepped inside. He was tall, wearing a dark coat and gloves, his face partially hidden by a scarf. His sharp eyes scanned the room, landing on Adam and Emma. "There you are," the man said, his voice calm but menacing. "You've been hiding for too long, Alan." "Who are you?" Adam asked, his voice shaking. "And why do you keep calling me Alan?" The man smirked. "You don't remember me? That's disappointing. But I remember you very well. My name is Victor. We work together, if you can call it that." Adam's grip on the rod tightened. "Work together? What are you talking about?" Victor took a step closer. "Let me remind you, you were part of a smuggling operation. Expensive art, rare gems, things that people would kill for. You were the best at what you did, Alan. But then you disappeared, and with you a lot of money went missing. Everyone thought you betrayed us." Adam's heart raced. "That's not true. I don't remember any of this." Victor laughed bitterly. "Amnesia, huh? Convenient. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Either way, I'm here to take back what you owe us." Emma stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "He's not Alan anymore. He's Adam, and he's trying to build a new life. Leave him alone." Victor's eyes narrowed at Emma. "And who are you? His savior? Or just someone who got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time?" "Don't you dare hurt her," Adam warned, stepping in front of Emma. Victor shrugged. "That depends on you. If you cooperate, no one gets hurt." "Where's the money, Alan?" Adam looked at the boxes around him. I don't know anything about the money. I don't even know who I am. Victor shook his head, clearly losing patience. Do you think I'm stupid? You might not remember, but your instincts haven't changed. You opened this unit, didn't you? You knew where to find it. Adam hesitated, unsure of how to respond. Victor took advantage of the moment and lunged toward one of the boxes. He opened it, revealing the stacks of cash and fake passports. Well, Victor said, grinning. Look at this. You've been busy, Alan. Emma grabbed Adam's arm. We need to get out of here, she whispered. Victor noticed their movement and pointed a small pistol at them. You're not going anywhere until I get what I came for. The tension in the room was suffocating. Emma tried to think quickly. If you kill him, how will you get the rest of the money? She said, trying to stall. Victor raised an eyebrow. Smart girl. Fine, I won't kill him. Yet. But he's coming with me. He'll help me find the rest. Adam shook his head. I don't know where anything else is. I don't even know who I am. How can I help you? Victor's face darkened. You're lying. You always were a good liar, Alan. But I have ways to make you remember. Just then, Emma's phone vibrated in her pocket. She remembered that she had called the police earlier, just before they entered the unit. She hoped they were close by now. She glanced at Adam and gave him a small nod, silently telling him to trust her. Emma took a step forward, distracting Victor. Listen, she said, her voice steady despite her fear. If he really doesn't remember anything, then you're wasting your time. Why don't you let us go, and we'll help you find the money? Victor laughed. Do you think I'm stupid? I don't trust either of you. Suddenly, the faint sound of sirens echoed in the distance. Victor froze, his eyes darting toward the door. What did you do? He demanded, glaring at Emma. She held her ground. I called the police. They're coming. You won't get away with this. Victor cursed under his breath. He backed toward the door, keeping his gun pointed at them. This isn't over, he snarled. I'll find you again, Alan. And next time, no one will save you. With that, he disappeared into the night. The police arrived minutes later. Emma and Adam explained everything to the officers, showing them the storage unit and its contents. The police assured them they would investigate, but Adam and Emma both knew that Victor was still out there, watching and waiting. As they left the station that night, Adam felt a mix of relief and fear. He turned to Emma. Do you think it's true that I was part of something illegal? Emma sighed. I don't know, Adam, but whoever you were, I believe in who you are now. We'll figure this out together. Adam nodded. Though uncertainty lingered in his heart, he knew the answers to his past were still out there, but he also knew the road ahead would be dangerous. Part 6. The Final Truth. In the days following their encounter with Victor, Adam and Emma struggled to feel safe. The police had taken the evidence from the storage unit, but they warned Adam to be cautious. He's not going to stop looking for you, the detective had said. If this Victor person believes you owe him something, he'll keep coming back. Adam and Emma decided it was time to stop running. They needed answers. Real answers. Adam couldn't live in fear of a past he didn't remember, and Emma refused to let Victor control their lives. One evening, while going through some of the photos and papers Emma had secretly taken from the storage unit, Adam noticed a clue. One of the photos was of a large mansion with a sign that read Brookhaven Manor. "This place looks familiar," Adam said. Staring at the image, Emma looked at it closely. Brookhaven Manor. I've heard of this. It's just a few hours away. Maybe we should go there. Adam hesitated but then nodded. If it helps us find the truth, we need to do it. The next morning, they set out for Brookhaven Manor. The drive was quiet, both of them lost in their thoughts. When they arrived, they saw that the mansion was grand but old, with ivy creeping up its stone walls. Adam felt a strange pull as they walked up the long driveway. His heart pounded with every step. At the door, an older man opened it. He looked at Adam, his eyes widening. "Alan?" he whispered. Adam froze. "Do you know me?" The man nodded. "Yes. You used to work here. But you left a long time ago." The man, whose name was Mr. Graham, invited them inside. He led them to a sitting room where he began to explain. "You were one of the best employees here, Alan," Mr. Graham said. "You worked as a security consultant for the Brookhaven family. But one day you disappeared. Everyone was shocked. No one knew why you left." Adam frowned. "Security consultant? That doesn't sound illegal." Mr. Graham hesitated. The Brookhaven family wasn't always honest about their dealings. They were involved in smuggling art and rare items. You didn't know at first, but when you found out, you were already too deep. You tried to leave, but they didn't let people go that easily. Adam's mind swirled with the revelation. "So, I was working for criminals? Is that why Victor is after me?" "Victor?" Mr. Graham's face darkened. "He was one of the enforcers. A dangerous man. If he's after you, it's because he thinks you took something from the Brookhaven family when you disappeared." Adam looked at Emma, his face pale. "Maybe I did take something, but I don't remember." Mr. Graham suddenly stood up. "Wait here," he said, disappearing into another room. When he returned, he held a small box. "I kept this in case you ever came back." Adam opened the box and found a journal inside. The name Alan Lewis was written on the first page in his own handwriting. "You kept a journal," Mr. Graham explained. "You were always writing things down. Maybe it will help you remember." Adam and Emma spent hours going through the journal. As Adam read, memories began to surface. The journal revealed that Alan, had discovered the illegal activities at Brookhaven Manor and decided to leave. But before he did, he took a ledger containing evidence of the Brookhaven family's crimes. He planned to use it to expose them, but something had gone wrong. He had been chased, attacked, and left for dead. That's how he lost his memory. It all makes sense now, Adam said, his voice trembling. Victor wants the ledger. He thinks I still have it. But where is it? Emma asked. Adam thought hard. Then it hit him. The lighthouse, he said. The lighthouse near Riverview? Emma asked. Adam nodded. I used to go there when I needed to think. I must have hidden it there before everything happened. That night, they returned to the lighthouse. The place was dark and quiet, the sound of waves crashing against the rocks. Adam searched the base of the lighthouse, feeling along the stones. Finally, he found a loose one. Behind it was a small waterproof bag. Inside was the ledger, just as he had remembered. We have it, Adam said, holding it up. This is the proof. Before they could leave, headlights appeared in the distance. A car was speeding toward them. It's Victor, Emma whispered. Adam quickly hid the ledger in his jacket. Stay behind me, he said. Victor stepped out of the car, holding his gun. I knew you'd come here, he said. Hand it over, Alan. No, Adam said firmly. This ledger is going to the police. I'm done running. Victor laughed. You think you can just walk away? Give me the ledger, or I'll make you regret it. Just then, the sound of sirens echoed in the distance. Emma had called the police again, just in case. Victor's face twisted in anger. You always were clever, Alan, he said. But this isn't over. He turned and ran back to his car, disappearing into the night. The police arrived moments later. Adam handed them the ledger and explained everything. The officers promised to use the evidence to bring down the Brookhaven family and their associates. As Adam and Emma drove home, a sense of relief washed over them. You did it, Emma said, smiling. You found the truth. Adam nodded. And now, I can finally start over. In the weeks that followed, Adam worked with the police to close the case. He also started seeing a therapist to process his memories and his past. Through it all, Emma stayed by his side. One evening, as they sat by the river in Riverview, Adam took Emma's hand. I don't know what I did to deserve someone like you, he said. Emma smiled. You don't need to know. I'm just glad I found you. As the sun set, Adam felt a sense of peace he hadn't felt in a long time. His past might have been dark, but his future was full of hope, thanks to Emma. That's the end of the story. If you enjoyed the story, please like, share, and subscribe for more exciting tales. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for the next adventure. Thanks for watching.